Let's talk about how to have a fantastic carnival for your school. Now, you might think, God, Christine, you're like super excited about a carnival, and you are absolutely right, because this is one of the events that my lower elementary school put on and I helped organize, and it just was such a fun day, and one of those really memorable events that I will be thinking about for years to come and thinking back on very fondly. And I know that it was a real big memory maker for my kids too. So that's why I have such a passion for it. So anyways, let's talk about how you can plan the most awesomest school carnival. So first, you should know, I hope you're watching this well in advance of the time that you would like to plan your carnival, because planning in advance is absolutely key. It is such a big day with lots of little details that you should be paying attention to. So if you give your time to plan everything out in advance, map it all out, brainstorm all the different things that you can be doing for the day, then working towards that as you get closer to the date that you ultimately choose, then you're going to really have a fantastic event. An all-day carnival or even a half-day carnival is not something that you can pull together very easily or at all at the last minute. It's really something that I believe deserves to have a lot of planning. I don't know. I loved it, and I miss going to it. I don't necessarily miss doing all of the work in advance, but certainly the day of work was well worth it. So how my school ran, well, it's not even the school. So it was hosted at the school, but it wasn't run by the school. Of course, it was run by our PTA. So how our PTA ran it was as a fun and a fundraiser. So it was a pretty significant fundraiser for us, but certainly so many kids had a ball and the parents had a ball too. So it was a success on all fronts. And so we had a couple different aspects of how we were raising money. So let me share just a few of them with you. So the first way that we did it, of course, or first way that we raised money, of course, was through ticket sales. So that was we didn't have an entry fee. You could come in for free, but then every game or booth, we had a tattoo booth and a cakewalk booth, those activities, any activity costs tickets. So you want to price your tickets so that they're affordable for everybody and that people will buy more than what they will use. That is generally a pretty good strategy. So how much those tickets should be is really going to vary upon your costs. So you're going to really need to know how much your prizes are costing. If you have to rent games and tents and all of that jazz, and you're going to want to factor that into the ticket cost too. How my group really saved on money is that the carnival had been an annual tradition for quite some time. And so volunteers had built games over the years. And so we actually didn't have to rent any games. And there were very few consumable supplies. The bulk of the expenses were actually for the prizes. And so we had every kid would win a prize at the game, but they had loser prizes and then winner prizes. So that's a rude way of saying that. I forget how they did it, but basically if you actually completed the task successfully, you got a bigger prize. And if you just did the game, then you get a participation prize. So there were different levels of prizes. That is a really fun way to make everybody feel like a winner if they get something no matter what. So the prizes that you're going to want to do, of course, it depends on the age set of your group. If you were doing elementary level, then Beanie Babies or small stuffed animals, just smaller, sunglasses or small slinkies or rubber bouncy balls, all that kind of stuff are really good prizes. And just look for little tchotchke things. Those are really fun. Some things that are interactive games. I know we always love the little jumping frogs where you push down on the tab on their butt and they flip over. That is fun. Yeah, so just mix up the variety of prizes to keep people engaged. The next thing you're going to want to do is feed people when they are at the carnival, because that is part of the carnival experience. And depending on what your food offerings are, you can really make it feel more carnival-y than not if you have the capability. So we had a menu of popcorn and pizza. And then we got donations from families for like juice boxes and chips or cookies and granola bars and things like that. So we would price a meal at, I forget exactly how much, maybe $3 for pizza, drink, and side. You can, of course, increase that or decrease that however you need to do it. And then one thing that we added in the last couple of years of Carnival was instead of renting a cotton candy machine, we actually bought one ourselves and did it because we'd had mixed results with the cotton candy machines actually showing up in working order and on time. Like that seemed to be a problem for the one provider in our area. And so we switched, we just bought our own, and that way we could have full control. Cotton candy, making it is messy. It is very messy. So be prepared if you are that cotton candy making volunteer that you will end up with floss everywhere and you will be sticky sweet at the end of the day. So wash your hair after Carnival, not before, is what I'm saying there. So back to the games for a second. You're going to really just want to vary your games based on what your age set is. And so know if usually families were coming with their entire, like all of their kids, like their entire family unit was coming for the day. And so that was super fun. So you're going to want to make sure to have games that younger kids can play as well as older kids. Having a photo booth is a great idea, especially if you have like a Polaroid camera. Take tickets to offset the price for the film. The biggest way to make money at your carnival is to have a silent auction. So, and here is where a lot of the advanced planning is very crucial because it takes a long time to get donations for this sort of event. So you should be reaching out to any local businesses, like divide up your volunteers, or divide up the local businesses amongst your volunteers and have everybody go out to 10 or 15 different places. If they can, have them take their cute kids with them because there's nothing better to get a donation than a cute little kid with their dopey eyes going, oh, please support my school's carnival. Like that's really awesome. It's a good experience for them to get out there and be talking with people. And it's also a good way for the business owners to understand exactly who they're supporting. My PTO was able to get donations from the Cleveland Indians because we had a connection there, the Cleveland Browns, I think the Cavaliers, even the minor league baseball team up in Lake County. We were able to get donations from them, the Cleveland Orchestra, of course, your cities. See if you have a city pool, see if they will give you a pool pass or a pool party. Whatever you have going on, just ask. You'd be surprised about how many local business owners are more than willing to support your group if only you ask. Because of course, the trade-off for them is that they get more business back, especially if you agree to promote them in exchange for a donation. So that can be really key. And I will tell you, the first year that I was president and looking at Carnival, because the Carnival typically fell under the duties of the president because it was such a major event and kind of really coordinating many different volunteers. So we were only making like, I think, $500. And it was like months and weeks and hours upon hours upon hours of volunteer work. And I was like, that doesn't seem really like a good payoff for the amount of time that I'm going to invest. So we made the simple switch of going from like a tricky tray type of raffle to a silent auction. And that's when we tripled our income for the first year. And then the next year we 5x'd it. So it was really a great thing because we were like, wow, this is awesome. So that you can really truly make it a fundraiser without it feeling like a fundraiser, because people are getting like fabulous prizes and your group is benefiting because you're not paying for the prizes, you are getting those donated. But again, that goes back to the time, because really you want to be asking for donations up to 6 months, maybe even more in advance, because you just want to be strategic about when you're asking for donations so that it's not all coming at the end of the year and that you're being kind of smart about that. If you're looking for more information about how to get donations, then go ahead and search on the channel so that you can, those videos will pop up if you just search donations. I have several on them about how to get them, the best way to go about it, and how to encourage long-term donations too. Another super important aspect of the Carnival is that it takes a lot of people to pull off. So you need the main organizers, of course, but then you need like boots on the ground sort of thing the day of, because you're going to need volunteers to run the different booths. You're going to need a whole bunch of people to set up and even more people to clean up at the end of the day when everyone is tired and just wants to go home. The fun has been had. The prizes have been won. You are tired, you want to sit on the couch and just relax. So you need to be recruiting volunteers for all of those different positions. And maybe even you might want to think about getting a volunteer coordinator for the day so that you have a point person day of to kind of keep everybody on schedule and where they need to be. That will make your life so much easier. In addition to planning in advance, the other thing that kind of getting the balls rolling on Carnival extra early can make possible for you is the ability to promote the heck out of this event. Like everything else, promotion is very essential. You can't just plan Carnival and hope that people show up. No, you have to let them know about it time and time again. You want to get the kids hyped up about going. One thing that my group did to kind of get kids excited, but also have the parents reminded about going is that we give every kid a coloring sheet during recess, like for the couple weeks in advance, especially if they were having indoor recess. We had our Carnival in February. So here in Cleveland, the weather typically is really crappy in February. And so the kids are inside for recess because, of course, some days are just too wet and yucky to be outside playing for. So they needed an indoor activity and we happily supplied it. So we had Carnival themed coloring sheets that the kids could do. And if they turned it in, then they would earn free Carnival tickets, game tickets. So that's how we kind of hooked kids in. And we also had a coloring contest so that winners would be announced at Carnival. So it was a great way to get people out and coming to the event. If having a school carnival is one of those big audacious goals of yours that you've been super excited about, like the thought, you're just like, oh my gosh, I would love to have that, but you've been kind of stymied about how best to pull it off. I do hope that this video has been helpful for you. I also do have an associated blog post that lays out some more of the details, even in a more fine point. So make sure to check that out and make sure to join me for the next video. Until then, take care. Want even more guidance on how to be a stronger leader so you can run a better PTO or PTA? All of these resources and more are waiting for you at ptoanswers.com.